Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, LaMalfa, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Semidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee. Mr. President, we are lacking
the absence of a quorum having been duly noted, the Secretary will ask the Sergeant-at-Arms to lock the doors and call the absent members. Mr. Sergeant-at-Arms, please lock the door and call the absent members. Members, the call is underway. Absent members of the Senate are requested to come to the Senate chambers. Secretary, call the roll.
Alquist, Anderson, Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, Corbett, Correa, De Leon, DeSaulnier, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Hancock, Harmon, Hernandez, Huff, Kehoe, LaMalfa, Leno, Liu, Lowenthal, Negrete McLeod, Padilla, Pavley, Price, Rubio, Semidian, Steinberg, Strickland, Vargas, Walters, Wolk, Wright, Weiland, Yee.
Members, the body remains without a quorum. Will absent members please report to the Senate floor?
18.
Members, a quorum having been established, it's my pleasure to announce that this morning we have some special guests in the chamber. The Cornell University Glee Club opened their two-week tour of California last night here in Sacramento with a concert at Congregation B'nai Israel in Land Park. They will be leaving this morning for the Bay Area, Monterey, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Palm Springs. Formed in 1885, the Cornell Glee Club has been directed by Dr. Scott Tucker since 1995. The 52 singers who are here with us this morning will perform America the Beautiful, followed by the well-known Cornell alma mater. Welcome.
Beautiful for heroes grouped in liberty.
Senate, let me convey my thanks, the thanks of every member to the Cornell University Glee Club. Members, could we ask that our members and guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this morning by our chaplain, Rabbi Mona Alfi, after which please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Michael Rubio. Rabbi?
Good morning. We call out to you, O source of life, on this morning for inspiration and for guidance. As we begin this day, let us be ever mindful of the many blessings in our lives and our daily opportunities to help others. Grant us the ability to approach our work with open minds and open hearts so that we might come together in finding solutions to whatever problems might face us. Let us not waste our gifts, our energy, or our time, but rather we ask you to show us how we might use these blessings wisely and for the betterment of our state. May this be God's will. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, members. At this time, we have the very pleasant task of swearing in a new member of the California State Senate. Let me ask Donald J. Currier, Superior Court of Sacramento, to join me here at the dais. And let me ask Senator-elect Ted Gaines to present himself as well. There he is. This way, right this way. Senator-elect, if you'd like to step up here behind the dais. Judge Currier, the ceremony is in your hands. And you may want to wait a moment for some loyal supporters apparently to assemble.
Thank you, sir. Wait till everybody gets up. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Edward Gaines,
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California.
that I will
Okay.
support
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of California
and the Constitution of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution.
That I will
Bear true faith and allegiance
truth, faith, and allegiance
to the Constitution
to the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of California.
and the Constitution of California.
That I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully
And I will and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you.
The senator is asked if he may make a comment from the dais without objection.
I just wanted to take a moment to thank my family and friends and all the support that they've provided over the many years in politics, and it's truly an honor to serve, and I thank God for this beautiful country and beautiful state that we have. Thank you very much.
Senator Steinberg, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just want to take a moment to welcome our new colleague, Senator Ted Gaines. I've actually had the privilege of knowing the Gaines family for many years, including his father, who we served together on the Interfaith Service Bureau in Sacramento many, many years ago. It's a fine family. Ted is a fine person and is going to do a very good job as a state senator. We want to welcome you to the chamber, Ted. Senator Gaines.
Members, we are at privileges of the floor. Looking to messages from the governor, they will be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committees will be deemed read. Under motions and resolutions, Senator Leno. Is Senator Leno present? Thank you. Senator Leno, for what purpose do you rise under motions and resolutions?
Thank you, Mr. President. For purpose of introduction and presentation.
Senator Leno, let me see if we can bring just a little bit more order to the chambers. I know that our colleagues from the Los Angeles area will be particularly interested in this next item. Proceed.
We're going to wait just a moment as some of our guests are brought to the chambers.
Members, without objection, we will allow photographers on the floor. Members, if we could at least make a pretense of restraining our enthusiasm, please. Senator Leno?
Yes, thank you, colleagues, for this warm welcome. These retiring gentlemen in the front of the chambers are from the San Francisco Giants, world champion baseball team. And let me, before I make my remarks, introduce them. Larry Baer, who's the President and Chief Operating Officer. Larry. Bill Newcomb, Managing General Partner and CEO, holding the trophy. And Nathan Naiman and Paul Rusinoff from Visa, who are sponsoring the tour of the trophy. And I know that we also have Stacy Slaughter here, who is the Senior Vice President, also daughter of Dan Walters. I don't know if Dan's here today. Along with Missy McCullochey, who's Director of Team Photography and Archives, and also Shana Daum, Director of Public Affairs. So the Giants brass are with us. And we do want to take just a moment to officially congratulate, commemorate you on your astounding accomplishment. You know, as a kid growing up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the 1950s, I fell in love with baseball in 1957 and 58 when the Milwaukee Braves made it to the World Series and became the world champions in 1957. And I'm talking about Henry Aaron and Lou Burdette and Eddie Matthews and a host of real iconic Major League Baseball players. I grew up somewhat lost interest with the game. Of course, when I got to San Francisco, became an ardent Giants fan. And then when I got elected to the legislature, knowing that most of my colleagues would be from Los Angeles, I vowed that I would not let those Dodgers fans push me around when I got to Sacramento. But I can say with certainty today that there is no San Francisco-Los Angeles dynamic here. We are all San Francisco Giants fans in this room today. And then, of course, as the Giants progressed through this torturous season with uncertainty every step of the way, I do remember, and I suspect I will remember for many years to come, the last game of the runoffs in when we were playing Philadelphia. That sixth game, it was a Saturday night. I had about 3 or 4 community stops that night where I had to speak at each, and I went into each one speaking as briefly as I ever have, probably, because I had to get back to the car to get to the next event, but I wanted to turn on the radio and see how the game was going. And there we were in the 9th inning when I turned on the radio. Brian Wilson had been brought in to close the game. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Phillies were up. We were up by 1 run. There was a tying run on second base, a winning run for the Phillies on first base, and the pitch was 3-2, and everyone was holding his and her breath. And then, of course, Brian Wilson threw that winning strike, and the Giants were off to the World Series. And so it was dramatic every step of the way, and of course that's how we won the series finally itself, with one more Brian Wilson strike. So I tell all this only because you have reignited this spirit of boyhood joy and ecstasy. And what is it about competitive sports that does that to the human spirit? That in an honest game, that the best man or woman can win. And that's what we all experienced in those final games in Texas. Though I have to admit, there was some perverse joy in watching George Bush's face while we slaughtered the Texas Rangers. But that's an aside. So once again, we're here to thank you, congratulate you, and thank all the players for us who really, and the celebration in San Francisco November 3rd really blew the lid off the city. We're so very proud of you, and we look forward to welcoming you back 1 year from now when you'll bring that trophy back a second time.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Leno. Senator Leno, our thanks and congratulations as well to representatives of the San Francisco Giants.
Leland.
And let's go now to State Senator Leland Yee. Senator Lee, for what purpose do you rise?
Just for a moment of privilege, I want to add my voice of congratulations. I think Senator Leno said it all, but let me just simply add the fact that nobody gave the Giants a chance at winning at all. And that, I think, is the hallmark of what San Francisco is all about. And that is that immigrants and other individuals come to our city without a penny, without a lot of hope, but a lot of dreams. And we make dreams possible in San Francisco. You've reinforced that. Thank you very, very much. You gave kids, little boys and little girls, hope for a better life. Thank you very, very much.
Joe?
Senator Leno.
So Senator Yee and I are going to present this resolution to the team, but I also want to mention that as they'll be going over for a ceremony in the Assembly, that Assemblyman Amiano and Assemblyman Ma invite everybody to the Willie Brown Conference Room for a reception between 9:30 and 10:15. So with that, the presentation.
Senator Steinberg, for
the biggest Giants fan in the room.
For what purpose do you rise, Senator?
Just to get in a short word, there's got to be 1 or 2 privileges of power here, and Senator Leno and Senator Yee, of course, said it very, very well. But I was just thinking that this is the second best day in my tenure as Senate Pro Tem. The second, you ask. The first best day was welcoming Willie Mays to the floor on his 79th birthday here. That was even greater. And you know, we were talking, Mr. Newcomb and Mr. Baer, and of course, the visa sponsors who are here today, Paul Russinoff and Nathan Naiman. I want to thank them as well for being here, about why sports, and baseball specifically, is so special, and how it brings together the generations. And I know that for myself, growing up on the peninsula, 15 miles from Candlestick Park, that I spent my boyhood, a lot of cold Friday nights, a lot of semi-cold Sunday afternoons, watching the Giants through, you know, some tough years, but always great years, because it was always baseball, and it was always time to share with my father and with my brothers and with my friends in high school, who I still keep in touch with, and especially have kept in touch with over the last several months over the Giants. And it doesn't really matter, really, whether you're a Giant fan or a fan of another great team in California. I remember 2 years ago when the Dodgers were in the playoffs against Philadelphia, and my seatmate, Senator Padilla, invited me to sit with him. And even though it was sort of contrary to my history and every bone in my body, I decided, you know what? I'm a Californian, and I'm going to root for the Dodgers against the Phillies. Darn right. And I'll say the same thing in San Diego if the Padres make it too, okay? You know, I didn't get elected to this position for nothing. But the point of the matter is, since you are here in the California State Senate, you, the San Francisco Giants, are a great source of pride to the people of California. And you've brought, and the team has brought, a lot of joy to a lot of people. And in a world and in a time, frankly, where things are tough for a lot of folks, thank God for the joy of sports, for the joy of competition, and for, you know, making people feel good about life. And spring training, pitchers and catchers report in 6 weeks. So thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate it.
Senator Leno and Senator Yee, if you'd like to make the presentation, and then it occurs to me we might want to offer our guests the opportunity for a brief word as well, having traveled here to the Capitol to be with us here today. Senator Leno, if you would lift the microphone immediately in front of you and allow Mr. Newcomb to take a moment at the microphone, please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the California Senate, on behalf of the Giants organization, thank you for your hospitality this morning, and thank you for your public service to this great state. We admire and appreciate what you do as public servants in this legislative body, and we wish you all the best. This was a team effort by the Giants. We didn't have any superstars. These were young men who respected the game and who liked playing together as a team, and we are so pleased and so humbled to have won the World Series, but to have won it as a team. And we wish you all of the best in your teamwork and your efforts going forward with the heavy responsibilities that you bear. Thank you for having us today. Keep up your good work and come and see some games.
Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Senator Correa, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Thank you. Just a brief congratulatory remarks to my friends from San Francisco. Enjoy the day, and not to make this too long, but remember the year 2002? The Anaheim Angels of Anaheim were celebrating a similar victory. I just don't remember who they won that year. Thank you very much.
Senator Correa, thank you for that recollection from the distant past. We appreciate it. Anything else under this item then, members? Members, just a brief announcement that there will be a viewing of the trophy in room 211 from 10:30 until 1:30. So after the assembly presentation has been completed from 10:30 until 1:30, members of the Capitol family who would like to take a moment and share the view are able to do so in room 211. How about one last round of applause of appreciation and congratulations for the San Francisco Giants. Members, as we return to our business, I should also mention that upon adjournment of session, there will be a reception for our new colleague, Senator Ted Gaines, in the Maddie Lounge. So invite members and folks here in the Capitol to join Senator Gaines and his friends and family in the Maddie Lounge immediately upon adjournment of session. Members, we are under motions and resolutions. Do we have any other items under motions and resolutions? Senator Ahlquist at the rear of the chambers. Members, if we could have your attentions. Senator Ahlquist, for what purpose do you rise? Senator Ahlquist, for what purpose do you rise?
Yes. Under motions and resolutions, I would like to present Roger Dunston, who is leaving the Senate to go to the Assembly. And as the prior, Roger, up here, as the prior chair of the Senate Health Committee, this is a hard act to follow here. Roger served for 8 years as principal consultant with the Senate Health Committee, and he will be going to the Assembly Appropriations Committee. During the time that he worked on our Health Committee, he worked on Medi-Cal issues, which, as you know, are extremely complex, also tobacco control and substance abuse, and he also crafted the legislation that created the Department of Public Health. Roger always impressed me with his professionalism, his dedication to good public policy, and probably most of all, his tremendous depth of knowledge. And for me, as a former high school math teacher, what also impressed me was his ability to educate me as chair and certainly chairs before me. I know you won't be going far, and I know that you will be working on issues very different than you've been working on for the last 8 years, including revenue and taxation and local government issues, and certainly we know how pressing they are as we look at the whole issue of state government and realignment. And so with that, please join me in giving a hearty congratulations to Roger Dunston for a job well done, and how much we appreciate what he did and has done in the State Senate.
Mr. Dunston, the Senate wants to thank you for your service, and as you make your way to the Assembly Appropriations Committee, we want to ask you to keep your friends and former colleagues here in the Senate in your heart as you go forward in that responsibility. Thank you again. Members, that takes us to introduction and first reading of bills, which will be deemed read. Consideration of the daily file. We have nothing on file. Are there any other items under motions and resolutions? Senator Pavley, for what purpose do you rise?
Adjourn in memory.
Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I rise to adjourn today's session in the memory of Michelle Yu, a respected human rights lawyer and former Senate staffer right here in the building. Michelle was 49 at the time of her death. She lived in Venice, California. She fell to her death while hiking on Mount Baldy in Southern California. Her body was discovered by authorities December 9th, just a few weeks ago. She was a passionate lawyer devoted to legal services for the poor. Michelle was a strong battler for immigrants and their rights. As a Senate policy consultant for former Senator Tom Hayden, a little more than a decade ago, Michelle initiated the first legislation to obtain legal recognition for car wash workers, one of the most exploited, underpaid, and underrepresented class of workers. A decade later, California has at last established protection for these workers. Those closest to Michelle described her as an avid hiker, a strong woman who took to the slopes of Mount Baldy nearly every weekend. In life, Michelle was indeed a climber of mountains. She helped the poor and disadvantaged overcome discrimination and abuse to reach peaks they thought were insurmountable. Michelle's death came as a shock to those who knew her and worked with her. It has left a deep sorrow in the hearts of her friends and loved ones. Michelle is survived by her daughter, Kelly, a college student. I ask that this body adjourn in her memory, that of Michelle Yu, and that we offer our heartfelt condolences to her family and friends. Thank you on behalf of former State Senator Tom Hayden, as well as myself and many that knew her.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Please be sure to convey the sympathies of the Senate to friends and families of the deceased, and would you also please be sure to bring the information forward to the desk so that we can properly memorialize this passing. Members, are there any other items under motions and resolutions? Senator Steinberg, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. I, too, would like to briefly adjourn in the memory of a great Sacramento leader by the name of Greg Bunker, 62 years old, who ran the St. Francis Homeless Services Agency, died over the holidays suddenly of a heart attack. This was a gentleman who, a Vietnam vet, devoted his life to helping the homeless and the dispossessed, and ran one of the most successful homeless service agencies in Sacramento, beloved by so many, both leaders and people without in this city. And his death came as a shock to all of us. He'll be greatly missed. Services next week, and I wanted to just take, a minute of your time to recognize his passing and adjourn in his memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg, and please convey the sympathies of the Senate to friends and family. Members, I want to repeat briefly two announcements. Upon adjournment of session, there will be a reception for Senator Gaines in the Maddie Lounge. And I want to correct the earlier announcement. The viewing of the World Series trophy is from 10:30 to 1, not 1:30 as earlier announced, 10:30 to 1. So if that's something on your to-do list today, please know that that will be wrapping up at 1 p.m. Is there any other business under motions and resolutions? If there is no other business, Senator Steinberg, the desk is clear.
2:30 Monday. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Today, I intend to announce committee chairs, which will then be taken up by the Rules Committee next Wednesday. Session itself will resume 2:30 on Monday. I wish everyone a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Then the Senate will be in recess until 3:30 this afternoon, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday at 2:30 p.m. The Senate stands in recess.